What I can refer to as a very disappointing and unfortunate take by former Nigerian professional footballer Pastor Idah Peterside, who played for Moroka Swallows Football Club in South Africa and currently a Supersport analyst, was interviewed by a Nigerian TV station called Arise News in relation to the demonstrations in some areas in the country. Let us watch and listen to the following clip.
In spite of these attacks, why do you think so many Nigerians choose to stay in South Africa?
Well, it's a beautiful country, absolute beautiful country. I went there as a very young man, very, very young man. I've lived in South Africa for 28 years. It's a long time, got married, have children, and I've stayed there. And I've done my life basically in South Africa. The place is beautiful. Things are working, if you would say that, When we got there, no one knew Africa, They didn't know what was happening in Africa. So we brought Africa to them. We brought a lot of new changes to the country. And over time, especially the Africans or the other African citizens started doing very well. Nigerians are go-getters, very go-getters. And so we go for what we want. We want to succeed. And so we're everywhere. We started small businesses. We taught them that you could fix a phone. We taught them you could do businesses and basically work and enjoy life. And most of them depended on the government subventions, even till now. Once you have a child, you are paid a subvention until your child grows up. So they're a little bit laid back. They're a little bit laid back. And they started seeing foreigners doing well, driving cars that they were not driving. I remember when I first signed my contract for a club called Tembisa Classic. So they asked me to go to a location, the team was like from, Ajegule. And they wanted me to go live there. And I refused. I said, no, I wanted to live in the city. So we brought this kind of mentality to them and we started developing. And again, if I would add, they have very beautiful women. They have very beautiful women. So most of our men will come in young, and they will hustle and make some money. And we used to taunt the South African men because every time you took people out for dinner or for lunch, they will share the bill. So we brought new things. We brought new things to South Africa, and I think that's the problem. That's the problem. They just can't handle what we have. Therefore, the xenophobia.
You confess matters of the heart on this very important issue. But I'd like to ask you a very, very serious question. There have been allegations that the institutions like the police and the likes, even those in government, are sitting back and allowing these attacks to happen. Having that in mind, if you plan to return to South Africa, what is the strategy that you have in place to ensure that you don't fall victim to any of these attacks? Briefly, please.
Sometimes it depends where you live. There's the up class, there's the low class. So I won't say low class, but the communities. What is happening is that most foreigners are getting into those communities, and that's bothering them. But if you live in the city center, the up-class area, nobody disturbs you. You do your thing and you drive your car and you're free. But there are places that you go where you compete locally, with the local people that affects them seriously. And again, my pain is with the Nigerian government. I would say so because a lot of people want to come back home. Some don't have the means. We've been waiting. People are crying. We want to go back home. We want to go back home. And the Nigerian government is saying you have to pay. Imagine somebody in a war zone, as I would say, and you're asking them to pay money. We're waiting for Onyema to come and fly our citizens. It's painful. If you've been in that situation, you will not understand it. You will not, because there's nowhere to go. Even if you decide to go rent a house, they will not allow you to rent the house because you're a kwere. That's what they call it. You're a kwere. You're a foreigner. They will not allow you to rent a house. You get into a shop you know, or you go into a clinic, they'll say, where's your ID book? If you don't have the ID book, they don't attend to you. So sometimes you just want to go back home, you know, and so Nigerian government should be able to sit up and help our citizens and those that need to be repatriated. We don't need to wait for Yema. I still say it. If Yema does not send air peace, nobody leaves. We should be bigger than that and better than that.